Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around with face stencils as a map for drawing your own face. So I'm working my junk journal today and I'm using one of the large Dina Wakley stamps to create a face on my page. Now I'm stamping out, I'm not using my block to do this because basically I'm not going to see much of this stamped image as I'm finished. I'm just using it as a template to draw out a face. So I'm using my Stabilo or pencil to trace over the lines that are there, and I'm starting to add in a bit of extra detail. So I've drawn in the top of the head because there wasn't actually a top of the head on this, and I'm drawing in some hair to finish it off. On this image in particular, the right hand side of the image is actually just really, there's not many lines there at all. That eye is not complete. It's sort of got the outline for the eye, but the actual full eye is not complete, which is why those eyes don't necessarily match up. I didn't do a great job of evening up, so to speak. So I find that using the stamp as a basis is a really easy way to help with your face drawing, so to speak. It gives you just that model to sketch over. Now, quite often when I'm doing stuff like this, I will often draw over the model that's there, whether it's a magazine image or if it's one of the collage tissues. I will always draw over it with a black Stabilo or a black pencil just to pop it out from the background anyway. So it's really no different with the stamped images as well. The thing that I'm, I suppose, doing slightly differently with this than I usually do is actually finishing off the entire image so it fills up the whole page. So, and by adding the hair on, which is something that I haven't done before as well. So really playing around with that. I'm also playing around with my scribble sticks, which I don't use very often. So as you can see on my page, anyway, it was pretty highly pigmented. This is an old gel print page, which had lots of reds in it. So I'm using that as a bit of a base and then scribbling over this scribble sticks. You can see also I had a sharpener out and I was actually sharpening up some of my scribble sticks. That's the first time I had done that, and it worked, which was good to know. Because some people have sort of said, how do you do that? And a lot of mine have gone really blunt because I haven't been brilliant at using them. And I tend to use them sort of flat on or stick them in a bowl of water. So it was nice to know that I could actually get a point back on them. Once I've finished, I'm going in with some of the apricot paint and I'm just applying it over my image, which is activating this scribble stick. So the scribble stick obviously is a pigmented crayon. And by putting the wet paint over the top, I'm starting to activate that. So instead of using water, you can use paint, anything sort of liquid to do it. I could have used clear gesso if I wanted to, and I would have blended those colours together as well. Just a different way to activate them, really, and by having that neutral base colour on it with the apricot sort of really added to it. Once I'd finished doing that and the paint had dried a little bit, I am now going back in with my Stabilo or pencil and just adding some finishing details over the top again. And also adding some highlights because I got a little bit heavy-handed. So it's a good way if you are want to practice faces, I suppose, or want to practice shading faces, but you don't want to spend time drawing them out every time. Face stamps are just they're a great investment for creating your own faces. And practicing faces and practicing shading faces, and if you're into doing makeup, you could do makeup samples with them, I'm sure. So once I finished doing this, I decided that I wanted to put a quote in her neck, because basically that was the only spare space I had on the page. And I've just written in with a black pen, and then I'm going in with my white pen to put a bit of a drop shadow on it to push it out from the background. One of the good things about putting the paint over the top of the scribble sticks is it gives you a better surface to write on. So the scribble sticks are water reactive, but they're also quite waxy. So while paint pen will go over them, it's a bit tricky and it's a bit skippy. Whereas by putting the paint in it, because particularly the paint I used is a matte paint, it gives it a little bit of tooth. So it's much easier to write over, which I've found. So it's okay, you forgot who you were for a moment, you're now back. You can see some of that stamped image, you can see that grid line from the stamp in the background. You can see the shading from the scribble sticks and how the extra pencil work from the Stabilo All pencil helps to put the page together. You can also see how wonky my eyes are in that one as well. So I hope this helps you have a look at your face stamps in a new way, or think, you know, if you've seen the face stamps and wondered why would you do that, doesn't have a head, doesn't have this, that and the other, draw it in yourself, use it as a bit of an exercise to create your own. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.